Day, everyone. We are back. Today, we are going to be talking all about the supplements that we recommend for our clients with arthritis and other autoimmune conditions. So, we're excited to share that information with you. But before we get started, we'll just quickly introduce ourselves for those of you who aren't familiar with us. My name is Jessica Melnick. I'm a registered holistic nutritionist, the founder of the Anti-Arthritis Method, the host of the Happy Joints Arthritis Solutions Group, and I help both women and men with various forms of arthritis get back to living life the way that they choose to, not the way that they have to. And I'll pass it on to you, Casey.
Yep, I am Casey Kephart. I'm a functional medicine nutritionist and the creator of the Feel Good Formula. I work with women with all different types of autoimmune diseases to get you back to the activities you love to do, trash your symptoms, get your life back, basically. And I live in St. Petersburg, Florida, where the sun always shines.
Amazing. It's actually shining here too in Saskatchewan. Go figure. We are having the most beautiful August that I can remember in my entire life. So we've had hot weather, sunny weather. Even the evenings are warm, which is like unusual for this time of year for us. Usually halfway through August, it's like cool in the evening and the leaves start turning on the trees and I start feeling sad because summer's going away. But we've had a really nice prolonged summer. So I'm really happy for that. So I hope it's nice and warm and comfortable and wherever else everyone is watching from. So like I said, today we're talking about supplements and what Casey and I recommend in our programs, what we recommend for, what I recommend for arthritis, and what we also recommend for other autoimmune conditions. So the reason why we wanted to make sure that we covered this topic for you is we get asked a lot about what kind of supplements we use, what do we recommend. And this is a really great question because we have to look first at the quality of the supplements that we're using. Now, depending on where you live in the world, there is a vast difference of the quality between companies, supplement companies. So Casey and I both use different companies that carry professional grade supplements. And that is what we recommend for our clients because we know that we're getting a good quality product, one that is has good potency, it is free of fillers and chemicals and other things and allergens and things that you don't want in your supplements. And also what it's saying is in the product is actually what's in the product. So like I said, depending on where you are in the world, there's different laws around what manufacturers can put in supplements and not put in supplements. And so we want to let you know kind of what to look for, what to be wary of, so that when you are purchasing supplements, you are getting a good quality supplement that is what it says it is. And just as an aside, if you are interested in purchasing supplements and you want a professional grade supplement, Casey and I both work with a company called FullScript that carries professional grade brands. We can set you up with an account and we can help you order, supplements that are good quality for you. So just send us a message, comment below this post. If that is something that you are interested in, we can help you out.
Yep.
So Casey, I'll let you go into some of the other important things that we need to take into account so that we know we're buying from a trusted source.
Yeah, definitely. One of the things that you should see on the labels, and this is posted really just randomly anywhere on the label, usually on a supplement, is CGMP certified. That is certified good manufacturing products, right? Is the P products? Yes. Yeah. And that means that they are third-party tested, which means that another unbiased company came in and tested these products to make sure what is actually in the capsule, tablet, powder actually is there in the quantities that they are claiming. And they also test for, molds and all of the things that shouldn't be in a supplement capsule as well. Some other things to know is cheaper is not better. So sometimes we go to our local drugstore or vitamin shop or grocery store and we see supplements there and it's BOGO, right? Buy one, get one free. That doesn't always mean that it's great. And we say this about food too, right? The cheaper is not always the better. And almost like if it is a higher cost supplement, I'll look into it more to see, why is it so expensive? What quality do they have? And usually it's a higher quality supplement if it does cost a little bit more money. I'm not saying buy the most expensive supplement on the shelf, because we all know that that doesn't really mean anything either, but just do your research about it and look at the ingredient label and make sure there's all of the things that you can understand on there. And there's no red number 2 and FDNC5 and colorings and all of this other filler chemical man-made stuff on the ingredient label, because that's just going to cause more inflammation in your body as well. And then look at the other ingredients on the bottle too. So usually you have your vitamin A, vitamin E, there's some, I don't know, fructose in there or something. And then there will be something that says other ingredients. This is where we can see what they're using for the capsule, what they're using to sweeten it, all of the nitty gritty stuff. So make sure you know what is in there before you put it in there. Because I'm gluten-free, I have celiac disease, and there's gluten in some of these supplements. There's dairy and soy, and a lot of people are sensitive to these, and they can cause inflammation in us, especially if we have an autoimmune disease. So just make sure that you really check into it, and we don't want to just excrete the vitamins out that we're using, and that's what's going to happen if our body doesn't absorb it. So a way that you can trust a supplement a little bit more is getting it from your healthcare practitioner. So they're not telling you to go to your local drugstore and get something off the counter. More than likely, they have a company or a few companies that they work with and trust with because of the clinical studies, because that they're exclusive to just healthcare practitioners and not on the shelf just for everybody to get. So you can kind of trust those brands a little bit more, because these supplement companies want to hold their reputation of a good quality product. And that kind of goes down a little bit when you can just find it at a Walmart or, a CVS. Did I forget anything?
No, that's great. It's so good to just know what to look for, the good things and the not so good things, so that you're not wasting your money and you're not creating more inflammation in your body. So, and like I always tell my clients this too, supplements are meant to enhance your health, not fix your health. So I get really frustrated when I see different companies advertising like miracle supplements, and this is going to change everything for you, and this is going to take away this, and it's going to take away all your pain and all your symptoms, and it's going to be like a miracle. If somebody is advertising that, run very quickly in the opposite direction, because there is no magic pill. There is no quick fix when you're dealing with arthritis or an autoimmune condition. And so you're going to get limited benefits from your supplements if you're not also eating the appropriate diet to manage your symptoms. So we don't want you to waste your money on a bunch of expensive supplements when you're going to need to also make sure that you are adjusting your diet and your lifestyle as well to support your health. And that's what Casey and I both do within our programs. It's what we teach about on these lives every week. So anyone who claims that just taking a specific supplement is going to make all the difference in how you feel, it's not true, and do not trust that. So Casey and I are going to go into some of the supplements that we commonly recommend for people dealing with autoimmune conditions and arthritis and things that we use ourselves. So probiotics. Super, super important. Way back in the Paleolithic times, we used to actually get a lot of probiotics through our food. So our soils used to have a lot more nutrients, a lot more minerals in them than they do now, because we have often over-farmed a lot of our soils and not replenished them. We use a lot of man-made fertilizers that are also not replenishing the soil. So nowadays our food and our produce has less nutrition in it than it did way back in the day, before we started over farming things. So we also used to ferment a lot of our foods. We used to pickle some of our foods and do more canning. Milk wasn't pasteurized, so we were getting some healthy bacteria from that. Fermenting foods was really, really normal. Even I know in my mom's generation, having sauerkraut was something that they just had at every meal.
Mhm.
All different cultures across the world have had a typical fermented food that has been a commonplace in their diet, whether it's yogurt of some sort, whether it's kefir of some sort, or some other type of fermented beets or cabbage or other vegetable that they had on a regular basis. We don't have that stuff typically. It's not as common anymore. And so what's happened over the years is that we typically have way less good bacteria in our guts, or way less strands of good bacteria in our guts. So we need to make sure that we are giving ourselves healthy strains of bacteria in our gut so that we have a good balance. Now, we also have bad bacteria within us in our microbiome, and that can get overgrown if we don't have enough good bacteria in our guts. And if we're not feeding our good bacteria with prebiotic foods, we're also not getting enough good bacteria. And sometimes that bad bacteria can have an overgrowth and cause dysbiosis, and can cause a whole bunch of other hosts of ailments that are just going to make our autoimmune symptoms worse. So we want to take a probiotic, a good quality probiotic, to put good bacteria back into our gut, which is going to bring down inflammation. It's going to help repair the gut lining. It's going to help us become more regular with our bowels. It's going to improve our mood, lower inflammation, and so many more things. So anything else you wanted to add that I may have forgotten about probiotics, Casey?
No, I that was a lot, and I feel like we covered it. I feel like even if you don't have a chronic health condition, still taking a probiotic is needed to fight away just common colds, viruses, pandemic things that are going on, regulating your mood, like Jessica said. We all need that as a general population, especially because our fertilizers and the way we grow things now is not providing probiotics for us. So we all have bacteria in our body, so we all need to balance the bacteria.
Yes. And I just thought of too, I know that glyphosate, which is a common, I think it's a pesticide or herbicide. It's one of the
Mhm.
sprays that is commonly used on our food. That actually can kill off good bacteria in our gut.
Yeah.
So that's another reason why we want to replenish our good bacteria. And like you were saying, it also helps support our immune system. And especially in this day and age when we've been dealing with a pandemic for over 2 years, we want to have a strong immune system.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
Casey, do you want to talk a little bit about L-glutamine? I know that's one of my favorites.
Yeah. Oh, glutamine does some of the things that probiotics does, and then when you put them two together, we can start to repair the gut lining even stronger. So L-glutamine works to repair that gut lining. So like we've mentioned before, your gut is supposed to be like a solid line in the road. When it's leaky, it's like a dashed line in the road. And so L-glutamine helps just like tighten those junctions and supports the growth of our immune cells and reduces intestinal inflammation. So that's also what causes a leaky gut and can also help with food sensitivities because we're regulating the immune system essentially, which also helps regulate food sensitivities and repairing the gut helps with food sensitivities too. So L-glutamine is definitely one of the top, I would say, three supplements that I would use to help somebody repair their gut for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those of you who are curious about like what Casey and I recommend within our programs, Casey and I both created our programs separately, and we have basically the same approach because autoimmune conditions come from the same root. I just focus on arthritis while Casey focuses on all different types of autoimmune conditions. But I wanted to just share something really interesting is that even though Casey and I created our program separately, we use exactly the same approach and we recommend the same supplements for our clients. And this was before we even met. So these are things that are backed by science. This isn't just our opinion. These are things that are scientifically backed to do what we're saying that they actually do.
Mhm.
So one of my favorite supplements I use on a regular basis, and I also recommend for my clients, are digestive enzymes. Now, I am talking about a broad spectrum digestive enzymes, so something that digests the proteins in your food, the fats in your food, and the carbohydrates in your food, and at a minimum. So we want to have 3 different types of proteins to break down the macronutrients that we are eating, and the main food macronutrients are proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. Now, I recommend these for a various number of reasons. First one is when we have arthritis or an autoimmune condition, we do have a compromised gut. And so we are, like we said, with the probiotics and the L-glutamine, we are working to repair the gut lining and reduce the inflammation and to populate healthy bacteria into our microbiome. And part of that, when we have an inflamed or a leaky gut, we are not absorbing the nutrition from the food that we are eating well enough because of that inflammation and that permeability. So by taking digestive enzymes, we're actually getting help to break down our food into the smallest particles so that our body is able to absorb them much easier. And so we are absorbing more nutrients from our food. More nutrients from our food means healthier cells in our body. Healthier cells in our body means our body is functioning more like it is supposed to and how it is meant to. So that is kind of the main reason that I recommend digestive enzymes. It's also great if you ever have any digestive distress. This helps so much in terms of digesting your food. You take these with meals or a little bit before meals, and you don't have to worry about, like, if you've been struggling with like gas, bloating, indigestion, all those things, this really helps with that. Mm-hmm. So I think you wanted to add about digestive enzymes, Casey.
Yeah, just the older that you get too, we lose the digestive enzymes. So we make less of them. So if you are also aging, and it might be a good idea to start taking some digestive enzymes, especially if you're noticing food just kind of sitting in your stomach, acid reflux, burping, things like that. A digestive enzyme can really help.
Absolutely.
Also, gallbladder removal. If you have gotten your gallbladder taken out, you need digestive enzymes, whether you have a chronic health condition or not.
Yeah. And when you are missing your gallbladder, your body is going to have that much of a harder time digesting fats, because your gallbladder is what stores bile that's produced in your liver, and the bile is what actually helps emulsify the fats that you're eating, and so they can be digested properly. So when you are missing your gallbladder, you have a lot less bile that's going to be getting into your digestive system. So sometimes taking like a supplement like an ox bile can really be helpful. Or if you're finding that like meat sits in your stomach and you just find that it's hard to digest, possibly taking a hydrochloric acid supplement can be really helpful to help you break down heavier meals, like higher protein and higher fats as well. Yeah. But that's an aside. That's something you can look into and check with your health practitioner about.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Do you want to take magnesium, Casey?
Yes. So another supplement we recommend is magnesium. This does over 300 different enzymatic actions in the body. So we're not going to go over all 300, but some main ones would be it does help with sleep. So a lot of people with autoimmune diseases do have altered sleep. You deplete magnesium when you are super stressed. And if you have an autoimmune disease, you are probably in chronic stress to begin with. So we need to take more magnesium to offset that stress. It helps with mood regulation. It helps with nerve functioning, let's say like numbing and tingling and cramps and restless leg syndrome. Magnesium is great for. It also helps with mood disorders like depression and anxiety and brain fog. Brain fog's not a mood disorder, but it does affect the brain. It goes from the gut to brain axis. If you are doing strenuous workouts, you deplete magnesium because of the stress factor again. So you will need to take more magnesium. And it also will help with those muscles and joint aches that you might have doing that too. And especially for all of the people in our community with arthritis, with joint pain, with osteo, RA, all of the things, magnesium might be something that you really want to add in. And I'm not going to tell you doses because that's kind of beyond what we can do on this live right now, but you will want to take more than the average recommended on the bottle. But if you want to know more about that, you can reach out directly and ask Jessica and I about that. Also, if you have diabetes or blood sugar issues, you are more than likely deficient in magnesium because it just extracts the magnesium basically. So you'll want to take magnesium for that too. If you have bowel issues, whether you are constipated or have diarrhea, magnesium can help. And there's all different types of magnesium salts. So magnesium glycinate, magnesium citrate, magnesium threonate, magnesium oxide. There's a ton of them, and they all do different functions for the body. So glycinate is, it won't touch your bowels. So if you have normal bowels, magnesium glycinate is great for absorbability and to just boost your magnesium levels inside of your body. If you are constipated, magnesium citrate is the way to go. Still has a high absorbability level. If you are having mood disorders like the panic attacks, the anxiety, the depression, just bland feeling, magnesium threonate might be really good for you with still a high absorbability. And I keep saying that because there's some magnesium salts out there that don't have a high absorbability that we kind of want to stay away from, and there's better options out there. So lots to be said about magnesium and lots more to be said about magnesium, but it is almost like a wonder drug. I feel like if anything is going wrong, magnesium and probably probiotics can snap you out of that funk in a day.
Amazing. One of my other favorites is a good quality fish oil, omega-3, DHA. It's a must, especially if you're dealing with arthritis, pain. It has been proven that in doses of 3 to 5 grams of a good quality fish oil, high DHA per day will actually decrease inflammation and pain. So if you can take NSAIDs or you're trying not to take as many because they can also cause lots of gut issues, fish oil can be a great thing to add to your supplement regimen in order to reduce that inflammation and pain. It's also amazing for brain health. So if you're having like brain fog, memory issues, things like that, fish oil is very helpful. Our brain needs fats, and this is one of the best ones. It's like I said, it's amazing for inflammation. So fish oil, I believe, is a must if you are dealing with arthritis. Absolutely. And I know, Casey, you recommend it too.
Yeah, definitely. It's just so good for the brain and cholesterol and just health in general in your heart. So inflammation with an autoimmune disease, especially.
Yeah.
Multivitamin. So I'm sure we've all heard of a multivitamin. It encompasses not all, but a lot of vitamins. So like vitamin A, E, K, B vitamins, zinc, all of the things. And that's a really good generalized place to start. If you are looking to boost your nutrient panel, basically. People with RA and probably autoimmune diseases in general have nutrient deficiencies. And we need these vitamins to help with tissue repair and cartilage repair and moods and gut lining repair and inflammation. And as Jessica said, with the probiotics, we don't, our farming practices are not the same anymore. So it's said that like an orange has 70% less vitamin C in it than it did about, I forgot how many years ago, 50 to 100 years ago. It's because of our crops. We're not doing the soil as different. Oh my God, I can't talk. We're not doing the soil the same as we were 50 to 100 years ago. They don't have as much nutrients in the soil. we're spraying the soils and the plants, which kill the nutrients as well. So we need more vitamins than we would have 50 to 100 years ago, just because we're not getting them in our food anymore. And honestly, the food that we eat right now is not food. So it helps also strengthen mucous membranes like the gut lining and stimulates blood cell production. Also in your multivitamin might be some B vitamins, or you might take a B complex. These help to help with stress levels, help you to adapt to stress and fight it. And a lot of times these B vitamins get depleted as well, or B vitamins are water soluble, so we just excrete them if there's too much inside of us too. So again, with multivitamin, I see a lot of people with multivitamins on their shelves or on their counters when I go into houses, and it's not a wonderful quality. It's kind of just something they pick off the shelf because it was buy one, get one free. You need a good quality to absorb these. So make sure you are doing that, even though it's not a specific. I feel like multivitamins are just like, how do I even explain it? I'll drop it. I can't explain it right now, but buy a good quality.
Yes, and I also, like you're saying about B vitamins, I can't tell you guys how many times B vitamins have made such an improvement in how I feel, because if you are going through a stressful event, you need a good quality B complex vitamin. It helps your body adapt to the stress. It helps improve your mood. It helps improve your energy. For me, it's an absolute must. If I'm like working on a big project or something, going through something, having a good quality methylated B complex vitamin supplement is super, super important. And methylated just means it's in its most absorbable form. Your body doesn't have to convert anything in order for you to absorb it. You're going to just get a good quality, high absorption, so that your body knows exactly what to do with it.
Yeah.
And also, vitamin D is another huge one. So for those of you who have arthritis or autoimmune conditions, often if you get tested, you will find that you are deficient in vitamin D, especially if you live in the northern hemisphere where we don't get a lot of sun for a good chunk of the year during the winter. And so typically we produce vitamin D from being exposed to sun. So having our bare skin exposed to sun, that's how we our bodies are able to produce it. But most of us don't get enough sunshine. We are working inside too much. We're not outside enough. So we need to supplement with vitamin D, and a good quality, again, something that is absorbable so that your body knows what to do with it. It's going to use it for your cells and all the things that it is needed for. So another place you can find vitamin D is from grass-fed meat, pasture-raised eggs, and leafy greens. So leafy greens, the vitamin D is not as highly absorbable as some of those other sources, or taking a good supplement. I personally take a liquid vitamin D supplement. It is vitamin D in olive oil, and I just take a few drops of that in the fall, in the winter, and the spring. Summertime, I get more sun, so I do much better. But vitamin D is super, super important. It's really important to get your levels tested, because it can really tank your immunity and also your energy if you don't have that vitamin D. So anything you wanted to add about that, Casey, before we wrap up today?
No, I think that's good.
Yeah, we covered a lot. There's always lots to say when it comes to supplements. I think the bottom line, though, is you always want to make sure you're getting a good quality. If you are wanting to get hooked up with good quality supplements, Casey and I can both help you out. So you can always message us, send us an email, comment on this post in the group you're watching it from, and we can reach out to you to help you with that. And yes, we'll be back on Thursday, and we hope that you guys have a wonderful next couple of days, and we'll see you soon.
Bye, everybody.